Good morning, team, and welcome to the Adams Auditorium and also the Army's Junior Leader Fellowship, running concurrently with the Chief of Army Symposium for 2025. These two symposiums or activities have always been an important event in Army's yearly battle rhythm. So for you to be a part of that is a great opportunity for you to continue on your forever learning journey. Personally, it is my privilege to have you here in our nation's capital. And I want to thank those people that have come down from the north. I think it's going to be about 18 degrees. That is unheard of. It is still winter here. But I do appreciate that the temperature varying for some of you will be quite significant. On behalf of you all, I want to acknowledge the traditional owners of the lands in which we meet here today, the Ngunnawal people, and I pay my respects to their elders, past, present and emerging. So war has always driven innovation and technology advances. Over thousands of years, the weapons that people have carried into battle have continued to evolve. In the last century, new technologies have continued to change the character of warfare and influence its outcomes. When we look back at World War I, the history books articulate the challenges faced by Australian soldiers, sailors and aviators that were so great that survival often depended on readiness, resilience, resourcefulness and innovation. Young Australians doing what they can, where they are, with what they've got. Fast forward to World War II, where Australia introduced a two-tiered military organisation, the Volunteer Australian Imperial Force, the AIF, as you've heard, which was predominantly tasked to be deployed overseas. And the Citizens Military Forces, the CMF, who was tasked for homeland defence and initially limited only to within Australia's territories. Sounds a bit familiar. Conscription for the CMF was expanded in 1943 to cover a broader Southwest Pacific region, extending the operations of the CMF beyond Australia's borders. National mobilisation, in the broader sense, involved escalating industrial and organisation, so military capabilities. There was a big focus around building resilience of and across society. There was also an escalation in military recruitment, and our entire country was focused on meeting the threats and challenges of war. These requirements, whilst in our history, are just as relevant in our thinking today, and our need to be ready, resilient, resourceful, connected with the society we serve, and innovative across all echelons. And I would argue this thinking remains even more important today as we prepare for the next fight. Over the past year, our Army has adapted across its entire surface area with a focus on central concepts, command and control, capabilities, and our culture. And we will remain focused on continual adaptation in order to meet the obligations as the experts in the land domain. The theme this year for the Chief of Army Symposium 2025 is Army in Society. And as a national institution, a profession and a fighting force, it is important that we understand our connection to and also our relationship with the society that we serve. I want to remind you all that learning is just not something that we do in training establishments. We need to learn and develop every day to be experts in the Army profession, experts in the land domain. And I guarantee that you will have the opportunity to do that this week. And your depth of learning will only vary by your own individual application. As the stewards of Army's future, this week I ask you to consider and think through the lessons or through the lenses of readiness. How you lead personally, how you provide purpose to your teams, how you set the example. And consider the connection you have individually and collectively within our society. Whilst today is the start of your Junior Leader Fellowship journey, I encourage you to make the most of every opportunity. We have deliberately designed a program to get you thinking, whilst also asking you to reflect on your roles and responsibility as a leader within our Army and your respective services. The Chief of Army, Senior Army Leadership, and my inheritance to you is that you will leave here with a better understanding of context. And context matters in today's world. When soldiers don't have context, in my opinion, they get frustrated and anxiety increases. And I'm in no doubt that you have lived that yourselves. So by understanding the context, you can have the adult conversations and reduce some of that angst. Professional soldiers, sailors and aviators, when they understand the context, generally go, that makes sense, and they crack on. You're going to also have a better understanding as we cover areas such as Army's current operating environment, Army's contribution to the National Defence Strategy, the state of the Army profession. Will also tap through part of CAS on the Indo-Pacific perspective. And you will also have an opportunity to hear firsthand accounts of or from junior and senior leadership, their experiences and lessons learnt in past and current conflict. And you will have the opportunity to engage with senior leadership. And I encourage you to take these opportunities, and tonight will be your first opportunity to be in a more or a less formal setting to speak to senior leadership. Before closing, I want to acknowledge and thank the aviators and our sailors in the audience. Your presence has demonstrated that you understand the importance of interoperability. And I'm in no doubt that your perspective will value add to this year's forum. For every one of you in this audience, I encourage you to sit with somebody you don't know. Have conversations with people you've never met before. This will enhance your overall experience and self-development. And I often hear of soldiers who are really supportive of forums and courses that are done residentially because they can start to build that important network, which helps to have a friend in court as you face the challenges moving forward. Once again, congratulations for taking part of this year's Junior Leader Fellowship and the Chief of Army Symposium. I know that Warrant Officer Morris and the team have done a lot of work in the lead up to this. So once again, I encourage you to take up that opportunity. And I'm looking forward to your contributions and getting to know you as we work throughout the program of this week.